The back cover tells us that they'll never grow up. Yeah, I figured that out. They've been in 8th grade for 4 years now.
Argo Funk Book Review. Argo Funk Book Review.
This book was written by Anne Martin. The school's performing Peter Pan this year. All the girls are excited, which is weird because in book 53 they trashed Mary Poppins as a stupid play for little kids. Continuity! Jessie is so sure she'll get the lead role, she brags to all her friends that she's gonna play Peter. Her friends warn her not to get overconfident, but can you really blame her for thinking she's better than everyone else? She's gotten the lead in every ballet production she's been in. She learned sign language in about a week, won a gold medal, was on TV, and cured cancer. Wait, no, the last one didn't happen. Still, she pretty much succeeds at everything. Kristy narrates the recap chapter, and Dawn narrates as the girls decide what characters they'll audition for. Kristy wants to be the dog, because she's weird like that. Stacey wants a small, unimportant role, and Dawn wants to be Princess Tiger Lily. Dawn is best Disney princess, after all. But uh-oh, Babysitter's Club nemesis Cokie Mason also wants to be Tiger Lily. Dawn doesn't want to compete against Cokie, and she considers not auditioning. Although, really, Cokie shouldn't be a problem for Dawn. Whenever the BSC goes up against Cokie, Cokie loses. She's like the opposite of Jessie's success. Stacey narrates the kids' auditions. Karen Brewer wants to be Tinkerbell, because fairy princesses. When the director tells her Tinkerbell isn't a character, Karen throws a huge temper tantrum. Later on, Karen hijacks the script readings to do a Tinkerbell dance. Kristy is forced to pick Karen up and take her outside. If only every Karen book would have a scene like that. Jessie narrates middle school auditions. She says Kristy and Stacey do well, but Logan doesn't. Dawn is so amazing, she gets a special picture. This is a nice picture, but I'm distracted by the girl on the right. Look at her mouth! She's eating her hair while playing with her hair. Jessie brags about all the great performances she's done in the past, and she does some fancy dancing. The director asks about 10 people to do a second audition, but Jessie isn't one of them. She figures this means she got the lead for sure. Can you say delusional? Sam narrates the high school auditions, and just kidding. The book glosses over those auditions. Who cares about high schoolers? I do want to note that a number of female high schoolers are at the auditions, even though there are no roles for them. Poor high school girls. Cokie narrates when the cast list is posted. She's excited to find out that she's Tiger Lily. Wait, what? Cokie beat Dawn? But that's not... Oh, wait. Dawn got the female lead. That's a much better role. So she beat Cokie after all. Good, I was worried for a moment there. The other parts, well, you know from the cover, but I'll say them anyway. Kristy is Peter Pan. Dawn is Wendy. Logan and Jessie are random pirates. Jackie Rodowsky is Michael, and Karen is Tinkerbell. That's right. The director rewarded Karen's temper tantrum by giving her the role. Ugh. Sam and Stacey are Mr. and Mrs. Darling because they just started dating, and playing married people creates maximum romance drama. There's a picture of the babysitters announcing the roles. I think it's a little weird that one group of kids is standing 10 feet away. And I wonder who that is with Dawn and Claudia. It looks like Mary Ann, but she's not in this chapter, and she would never be caught wearing that sweater. Maybe Stacey dyed her hair dark or something. Mallory is the apprentice costume designer, which is a nice way of saying she's the chore monkey for the costume department. Claudia is in charge of the scenery, but if you think she's going to do any art in this book, you're wrong. Instead, she narrates an awkward Babysitters Club meeting where all the girls complain they didn't get the roles they tried out for. Jessie more or less tells them to shut up because they tried out for small roles and became the main cast. You all got promotions. Stop complaining. Jessie spends the rest of the meeting grouching at Kristy.
Jessie snorted. Oh, be quiet. You sound like a horse, said Kristy.
The Babysitters Club. The best friends you'll ever have. Mary Ann goes to a rehearsal because she's babysitting the Braddocks. All the kids are being kind of wild because they're kids and there's no adult supervision here. Mary Ann is forced to calm the kids down, and the director is so impressed he makes Mary Ann the backstage babysitter. Mallory loves the teacher in charge of costume designs. She's so amazing! I want to be just like her when I grow up! But then Mallory is ordered to get everyone's measurements. She can't measure boys' waists. That involves touching them. Mallory dithers around for a chapter instead of doing her job. The main costume designer is not amused. Dawn is shocked to learn that the play doesn't mention the women's movement of 1904. What kind of children's material doesn't contain political references? So she decides to give the play a modern feminist rewrite. That mostly means she refuses to sew Peter Pan's shadow, and she tries to give the boys cooking lessons. The rehearsal goes badly as Dawn changes all the lines and Kristy forgets all her lines. Cokie heckles them the entire time, and I find it weird that the director doesn't bother to stop her. You think he might try to silence the person who's interrupting the play after every other line. Logan and the pirates are bored because they have nothing to do. They pretend to have a sword fight, and Logan shouts, "Mutiny!" The director gets mad at Logan and fires him on the spot, even though Cokie was misbehaving way worse than Logan was. It's okay though, because Logan gets his job back in the next chapter. Cokie hassles Kristy some more, and she asks the director for her own personal dressing room. Kristy says she has the perfect room for Cokie, a mop closet. Ha ha ha! Kristy brags to her friends about her great prank, until Cokie actually does use the closet. Kristy swears revenge. Jackie gets a chapter. They're doing all the rehearsals in full costumes, because reasons. Jackie dislikes his costume, and he dislikes pretending to fly. They're not using ropes to make the kids fly in this play, because no way are they giving Karen that much power. Jackie sees the crocodile costume, and he's so scared he starts screaming. I forgot to mention this earlier, Jessie quit the show, because there's no way she's going to be a dumb pirate. The director convinced her to stay on as an assistant choreographer. She teaches the kids how to dance, and she convinces herself that she's doing such a great job, she should be the assistant producer. But when she's not listed as a producer in the playbill, she's disappointed and crosses her name off the cast list. The director tries to explain why Jessie didn't get the lead role. "Your singing is awful, kid!" But his explanation rings hollow, considering that he changed the script just to give a part to Karen Temper Tantrum Brewer. Stacey is furious with her boyfriend Sam because he treats the play like a huge joke. He calls her darling and wife all the time. It was considered cute when Logan and Marianne did that in book 52, but here it's considered annoying. Continuity! Instead of telling Sam how she feels, Stacey expects Sam to read her mind. When he doesn't, she gets even madder. In Sam's chapter, he explains that his friends tease him about Stacey. Like, "Ha, you're dating a middle schooler." Sam wasn't sure what to do, so he got dating advice from Charlie. Bad idea, Sam! Charlie isn't exactly a social butterfly. The high point of his Fridays is waiting outside Claudia's house for a half hour so he can drive Kristy home. Charlie recommends that Sam show off how much fun he has with Stacey, hence all the jokes. Sam and Stacey have a serious talk, and she clearly thinks he's an idiot, but she's glad that he still likes her and cares about her feelings. Marianne babysits all the kids, and she gets mad when Mallory interrupts her. But really, why shouldn't Mallory help babysit? There are 10 kids, and club rules state that you need 2 babysitters for more than 6 kids. Besides, there's nothing else for Mallory to do since all the costumes were finished last week. Why is she even showing up at rehearsals then? That's weird. Anyway, Marianne gets mad at Mallory and snaps at her for interrupting. Mallory wanders off trying to find something to do. She discovers that Cokie and Stacey's costumes got mixed up. I have no idea how, because Cokie has her own dressing room. But Mallory takes this as a sign that her job as costume monkey is still very important. She's just as delusional as Jessie. They do a dress rehearsal for the elementary school. Jackie is still scared of the crocodile, but then he throws a rock at it and shouts, "Crocabunga!" The audience loves it, but the adults order him to stop. Claudia narrates what she did the afternoon before the first performance. That's a random time period to talk about. She stays at home, talks to a picture of Mimi, and watches a movie with Stacey. That's all. Thank you for your contribution, Claude. There's a last-minute emergency. The crocodile actor broke his nose and they need Jessie to replace him. Number 1, the cover totally spoiled this end of book plot twist. Number 2, why does a broken nose stop him from performing? His face isn't visible in any of his scenes. Number 3, I love Mallory's pulled back hairstyle. She should try that more often. The good news is that Jackie likes Jessie, so he's no longer afraid of the crocodile. Cokie tries to psych Kristy out, and Kristy does forget her first line, but after that she performs perfectly. Kristy gets revenge by singing during Cookie's big solo. That way, Cookie's big song is a duet! Ha ha ha! Dawn is nervous because she dislikes being the center of attention. Not according to her last book, Continuity! She doesn't eat at all before the play, and she's worried that her dad isn't here to see her perform. Luckily, her stepfather tapes the play. As for the second and final performance of the play, who cares? The book doesn't mention it. The end. Post-book follow-up. This book has a prologue where Jessie gets a job on the newspaper. She's writing an article on the play, and that's why the book exists. It's notes for Jessie's article. We never get to see the article, so whatever. My main problem with the super specials is that few of the stories are developed because they're only 3 chapters long, and there's a 60 to 90 page gap in between subsequent parts of a storyline. Dawn's subplot is a great example. She narrates the first rehearsal, and her next chapter is during the first performance. That's a huge time gap, and it killed the subplot of Dawn revising the script because the book jumps ahead to the point when she's no longer rehearsing the play. So Dawn's subplot ends up being an 8-page distraction that never gets followed up on, just because of the way the book's laid out. I didn't like it. Logan's subplot was equally unimportant. He's fired and then immediately gets rehired, everyone forgets about it, and he only appears once after that. They could have left that out and the book would have been basically the same. I feel like Claudia was cheated out of a storyline as both of her chapters take place in her house, far removed from the play. She's the scenery designer. Why didn't they do something with that? The weird part is, all the scenery is started and finished in between Claudia's 2 chapters. We never see her work on scenery, so what was the point of making her the scenery designer? Jackie had a gap in between his 2 chapters, but that was handled better. He has 3 different plot points. Both chapters hit on all 3 plot points, instead of dropping one of them because of the time gap, like Dawn's revision and Claudia's scenery. Good job on that count. Good job with Jackie. The Stasi Sam story was also good because Sam's chapter was right after Stacy's. They immediately resolved the story instead of letting it linger. And it was nice to see the misunderstanding from both people's point of view. Similarly, Marianne and Mallory share a storyline. Mallory always narrates right after Marianne, so there's a decent amount of time spent on it. That was good. I didn't care for the story of Marianne as a babysitter, though. Marianne Babysits has been her story for the last 5 super specials. Give her something else to do. The Cookie Kristy competition was humorous, and I especially liked Cookie's chapter. She makes mean remarks about the babysitters, and Jessie interrupts with a rant because Cookie called her a twerp. It was funny. It is a little odd how Cookie goes from a rivalry with Dawn to a rivalry with Kristy for no reason at all, but it worked. Jessie's storyline was interesting, although I think it could have used another chapter to go into more detail about her feelings. She's the narrator of this book, so she could have an extra chapter. The book indicates Jessie didn't get the lead role because she's horrible at singing, but nobody's brave enough to say that to her face, so it mostly goes unaddressed. You could say it's a cop-out ending for her to star in the play and have a great time anyway, but I thought it was fine. Karen's subplot is that she's a brat who wants everything to go her way, and it does. Typical Karen storyline. But she didn't narrate any chapters, which makes her more tolerable. While editing this video, I realized I completely forgot about Kristy's storyline, which tells you how unmemorable it is. Kristy's story is that she forgets some of her lines in the play, and that's it. Considering she's the main character of the play, they could have given her something more to work with, but they didn't. She just has trouble memorizing her lines, that's all. Overall, I liked 6 of the 10 storylines, so the book should get a 6 out of 10. I'm giving it an extra point for having an interesting premise that was fleshed out, and had decent amounts of storyline overlap, making it seem like a large connected story. Except for Claudia and Dawn. And Logan. I give Babysitter's Club Super Special number 9, starring the Babysitter's Club, a 7 out of 10.